Okay, so I just gotta ask one question. Why did Yeeun's new company, Superbell, think that this was a good idea? I've been sitting on my opinion of Yeeun's debut for a while now, and it's mainly because I didn't have a lot to say about it. The song itself was fine, it was nothing mind-blowing, but also not the most awful thing I've ever heard. It was mostly an average minimalistic pop song that I could play in the background of my bedroom as study music, with a chorus that really could have popped a bit more if there were actual lyrics there. Now, this is no shade to instrumental choruses, because for many songs, this empty instrumental chorus beat drop thing that so many other groups have done before can and actually does work. Blackpink has been doing it for years, and for them, it works most times, because it's a part of their branding and a signature thing that makes them who they are. Teddy and instrumental beat drops go together like TS Entertainment and lawsuits. A lot of people have given Blackpink shit over the years for having such formulaic songs, but then also in the same breath decide to ignore the title tracks that actually try to do something different, but I digress. We aren't here to talk about Blackpink today. Those women already get so much shit from the world, and I don't feel the need to add anything more to that particular discourse. So let's get back to Yeeun and her inability to catch a break these days. Now, we all know the ill-fated CLC fiasco, so I'm not going to give a full rundown. There are plenty of Reddit threads discussing it. TLDR, those women were mishandled for years, and it was sad to watch, but the one bright side that everyone saw blooming on the horizon was the fact that eventually, all of the members would get to jump ship from Cube and hopefully pursue success elsewhere. So when news of Yeeun's solo debut was announced, many people, including me, were overjoyed. Aside from Sungyeon, I always figured that Yeeun would be the most viable member of CLC that I could imagine helming a successful solo career. If, of course, she got the right concept and management team behind her. She has killer charisma and stage presence, is a talented rapper in her own right, has stellar visuals, and seems like a genuinely sweet and chill woman overall. I was rooting for her, really hoping that she'd finally gain all of the accolades and recognition that Cube obviously couldn't give her. We'd even managed to get a slight preview of what we could hope for in her eventual soloist career when she dropped Barbie, following her run on the reality show Good Girl. With this, people were likely expecting a Barbie redux with her first official solo release. And I get why. She excelled with this concept. It was bright, fun, and she got to show off some vocals that she rarely ever seemed to show while in CLC. When she instead decided to go with a more low-key Apple Music ad song like Cherry Coke, the reception was mixed, to say the least. Some were okay with it, but many thought that the song was boring and empty, and so undeserving of an idol that's likely capable of so much more. My main issue, aside from the mild, repetitive nature of the song and its lack of an actual chorus, was the title of the song itself. Yeeun's company should have seen the potential copyright landslide that they would be hit with following the release of a song that they decided to name Cherry Coke. Now, I don't know how much input that Yeeun had on her debut, such as if she wrote any of the lyrics or has any production or composition credits. But whoever was in charge of that should have known how easily this could all go wrong from the get-go. Last year, with Idol's release of Tomboy, Soyeon went from music show to award show having to sing the lyrics, "I would rather film a ding-dong" with her whole chest, and somehow managed to do this without laughing every single time. We're dealing with an industry that won't even let you say TikTok for fear of a potential copyright violation. So why did Superbell think that it was a good idea to let Yeeun make her debut solo song include a very well-known brand name, knowing damn well of what potential copyright issues would come with it? Now, it wouldn't be so bad if the word Coke were only in the song once or twice, such as with the TikTok thing in Tomboy. Ding Dong was a goofy replacement for it, but it was only in the song one time, and most of us could move on from it without ever having to think about it again. But when you have a song called Cherry Coke, being forced to change its title to Cherry Talk, and to add in the fact that it almost sounds like Cherry when Yeeun says it, it feels like you're unintentionally setting your own artists up for failure. A debut should be a memorable endeavor that bestows the world with a great first impression of a soloist or a group. With groups, you can almost forgive a bad debut every now and again, because groups tend to be more profitable in K-pop than soloists, and groups also usually have multiple chances to win over the public. With soloists, it's an almost sink or swim situation, especially if you're from a smaller company. These days, the only soloists pulling in impressive numbers are either idols who were or are currently members of very successful groups, or they're just IU, who is a juggernaut on a completely different wavelength than pretty much everyone else in K-pop, because she is literally the nation's little sister. IU can record a song about anything or anyone and release it at any time of the year with little to no promotion and still manage to effortlessly top every Korean music chart. Most soloists don't have that privilege. The only other one who comes close to her in terms of female soloists is Taeyeon, or maybe even BOL4. From that information alone, surely you can see how important it is for a soloist to hit the ground running with a debut to make as good of a first impression as possible. Unfortunately, Yeeun doesn't seem to have had the same luck, because the story of her debut only seems to have worsened as of late. On April 26, 2023, it was reported that Yeeun's debut music video was randomly and suddenly taken down from Superbell's official channel. Though there doesn't seem to have been an official statement put out explaining why this has happened, it's been speculated that the music video might have contained some sort of copyrighted material owned by Sony that's forced them to delete it. And at the time of this video's upload, there is no news on if or when the video will be re-uploaded. Oddly enough, it was also stated that the song itself, Cherry Coke, was also taken down from her Spotify account. So that's really weird. Because if this were only an issue of copyright with the music video, then why would it also affect the song itself? There isn't currently enough information out right now to explain whatever that portion of the story means, but I sincerely hope that Cherry Coke wasn't struck down due to any plagiarism claims, because the last thing Yeeun needs is more career drama. This woman has been in the trenches, being mishandled by one entity after another, and I'd love for her to finally catch a break. Hopefully, with her upcoming appearance on Queendom Puzzle, she might finally get a splash of much-needed promotion and shine, so that she can hopefully put this entire debut era behind her.